Proof one hit can change everything. In 1972, rock unleashed 10 lightning strikes. Bands that tore through the charts once, then disappeared, but not before shifting the course of music. A glam anthem that cracked open US radio. A cosmic biker jam that dragged space rock out of the underground. Barroom ballads so cinematic it keeps resurfacing in Hollywood decades later. They weren't built for longevity, no string of hits, no endless tours, but for one shining moment they stood toe-to-toe with the giants. So buckle up, because what you're about to hear isn't just nostalgia. It's 1972 like you've never heard it before. Ten rock one-hit wonders that changed music history forever, and with each track, we'll uncover the shockwaves it sent through rock history. 10. T-Rex by Bang a Gong, Get It On. Released in the US in 1972 on Reprise, Bang a Gong, Get It On, carried Mark Bolan's Glam boogie from London clubs to American radio. Produced by Tony Visconti for the album Electric Warrior, and cut at Trident Studios, it tightened a barroom groove into something sleek, radio-ready, and unmistakably T-Rex. The arrangement is minimal yet insistent. A patient backbeat with cowbell on the grid, a loping bass line that never hurries, and a fuzzed guitar that glides more than it bites. Piano and hand claps thick in the pocket. Bolan's close-mic'd vocal, half croon, half purr, turns a simple vamp into a strut. Saxophone lines thread through the choruses, adding a touch of metropolitan shine without crowding the riff. Chart performance matched the polish. Retitled Bang a Gong, Get It On, for the US to avoid confusion with another contemporary Get It On, the single became T-Rex's lone major American top 10, while in the UK it had already ruled the chart. Critics heard confidence instead of clutter. Fans heard a groove that felt inevitable from the first bar. A studio footnote worth knowing. Bolan brought in Flo and Eddie for stacked backing vocals, and Visconti kept the rhythm section dry and up front. Choices that made the track feel immediate, even through AM compression. The mix leaves air around the instruments. The song breathes as it moves. While T-Rex amassed a string of UK smashes, this was the American beachhead. It showed US radio that a tough, traditional riff could wear a little glamour and still hit hard, quietly opening the door for glitter and swagger to coexist on mainstream rock playlists. 9. Jo Gunne by Run Run Run. Jo Gunne hit the airwaves in '72 with Run Run Run, the lean, no-frills lead single from their self-titled Asylum debut. Formed the year before by Jay Ferguson and Mark Andes, after leaving Spirit, the band set out to make something tighter and more immediate than their former group's artier detours. The record trims rock down to working parts, a tight two-guitar riff locked to a straight, unfussy backbeat, bass glued to the root, and Ferguson phrasing right on the beat. No long intros, no detours. The chorus hits early and keeps circling back, a design built for radio and weekend stages alike. On the charts, it did exactly what it was built to do. Top 30 in the US, Billboard number 27, and a top 10 smash in the UK at number 6, with steady airplay that pushed the band onto TV slots and AOR playlists. In Canada, it also cracked the top 30. The single was backed with Take It Easy, and the band's TV exposure, think The Midnight Special, helped cement the song's reputation as a no-frills boogie that traveled well from barrooms to broadcast. While Jo Gunne never repeated the feat, Run 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 endures as a blueprint for bar band rock. Short intro, strong hook, clean break, out before you overstay, proof that in 1972, economy could still hit like a hammer. 8. Blackfoot Sue by Standing in the Road. In 1972, Blackfoot Sue burst onto UK radio with Standing in the Road, a no-nonsense glam stomper issued on the independent Jam label. Where much early 70s rock sprawled, this single aimed straight for impact, built to cut through daytime playlists and Saturday night dance floors alike. The arrangement is big but unfussy. Stomp-clap rhythms and a steady floor-tom pulse create the sense of a room moving in time. Over that foundation, guitars strike bright and percussive. The bass stays glued to the root, and the lead vocal carries the hook with confident sing-back phrasing. Everything is voiced for immediacy, as if the track were designed to teach the audience the chorus on first listen. It connected fast. The single shot into the UK Top 10 became a fixture on pop and rock shows and gave the band their one major chart moment. Critics tagged it as industrial-strength glam, more about communal momentum than glittery detail, while fans took to its simple promise, a beat you could feel underfoot. Production-wise, the recording leans into layered foot stomp and hand clap overdubs, a period trick that makes the groove feel bigger than the band. Half studio, half crowd. The guitars are kept crisp rather than thick, leaving space for the rhythm to do the heavy lifting. I'm standing in the road, I'm halfway down. While Standing in the Road didn't unlock a long run of hits, it captured a core piece of 72 glam vocabulary, the terrace-ready stomp that later powered arena chants and sing-along codas. 5 decades on, it still reads as a compact blueprint, proof that a tight beat and a direct chorus can carry a song a very long way. 7. How Do You Do by Mott and MacNeal. Once I said I wanna shoot, I don't remember why. A Dutch duo with a gift for knockout hooks, Mott and MacNeal sent How Do You Do across the Atlantic in 1972 via Philips, turning a European hit into a stateside earworm. Where much rock that year leaned heavier, this single took a straighter path. Bright guitars, crisp percussion, and 2 voices trading lines like a conversation you can't help but join. The arrangement keeps everything up front. A jangly rhythm guitar carries the pulse, hand percussion, and claps add lift, and the call and response vocal makes the chorus feel instantly communal. The melody arrives early and returns often. The production leaves space, so the hook does the talking. It worked. The record cracked the US Top 10, giving the duo their one major American chart moment and steady radio rotation. Some critics shelved it as pop, yet rock programmers heard exactly what they needed: drive, clarity, and a first-pass chorus hook. Behind the scenes, the team leaned on tight double tracking and hard panning to widen the refrain without burying the rhythm section, an old-school studio move that helped the song punch through AM and FM compression. The balance is deliberate, polished enough for daytime radio, punchy enough to sit beside guitar-driven cuts. While Mott and MacNeal would chase other successes in Europe, How Do You Do stands as their transatlantic calling card. Proof that a clean groove and a bulletproof top line could cross borders in 1972, slipping a European accent into American rock radio and sticking around long after the summer ended. 6. Silver Machine by Hawkwind. Space rock wasn't built for the singles chart, but Silver Machine made it anyway. Cut from a live roundhouse take and tightened with studio overdubs for United Artists, the track put Lemmy front and center, an inspired swap that turned a swirling jam into something direct and declarative. The sound is a relentless motoric drive, overdriven bass welded to a straight kick, guitars scraping at the edges, and oscillators sputtering like engine noise. Lemmy's vocal sits dry and up front, giving the song a steel spine while the electronics flicker around him. It's hypnotic without drifting, heavy without bogging down. On the charts, it hit hard, crashing into the UK Top 5 and giving Hawkwind their one major hit. Coverage at the time often treated it as a left-field anomaly. Out in the venues, people heard momentum and attitude, a riff you could lock into, and a chorus built to shout back. There's a practical studio story behind the impact. The band kept the live chassis but overdubbed to sharpen the attack, tighter vocal, clearer bottom end, so the performance still breathes while punching through radio compression. Lemmy's lead wasn't just a novelty, it changed the song's posture from cosmic chant to leather jacket command. In hindsight, Silver Machine dragged space rock into the mainstream for a moment and sketched a line toward proto-punk grit, the same no-nonsense force Lemmy would later weaponize in Motorhead. One hit and a lasting blueprint. 5. Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest. An American expat outfit working out of Paris, King Harvest shaped Dancing in the Moonlight in small rehearsal rooms and late-night sessions before a U.S. pickup gave it national reach. The band didn't chase volume or spectacle here. They aimed for something lighter on its feet, a groove that would float through open windows in summer. The arrangement is all ease and balance, electric piano setting the pulse, clean guitars chiming at the edges, bass and drums laying a mid-tempo pocket that never hurries. The lead vocal keeps the lines conversational, almost as if the melody were discovered rather than written. It's the sound of a band, beat leaving air between the notes so the hook can breathe. Radio programmers heard the invitation immediately. The single moved steadily into national rotation and became the group's signature and only major American hit. The kind of mid-tempo cut that sat comfortably between harder tracks without losing its own identity. Rather than make noise, it won time and space. There's a deeper origin story too. Songwriter Sherman Kelly first imagined the song as a picture of safety and joy after a violent incident, music as a counterworld. King Harvest's take kept that warmth intact, framing the lyric with a pianist's touch and a rhythm section that refuses to crowd the room. The legacy is obvious each time the opening figure lands. This is proto-indie DNA, a masterclass in restraint and feel. Decades on, it remains a sync magnet and a summer standard. Not because it shouts, but because it glows. One hit, endless evenings. 4. White Lies, Blue Eyes by Bullet. On Big Tree Records, White Lies, Blue Eyes showed how far a tight idea can travel. Born as a studio-first project, the single wasn't built on mystique or mythology, just a sharp guitar figure, a straight backbeat, and a vocal that puts the hook in front of everything else. The arrangement is clean and unfussy. Crisp rhythm guitars, tambourine on the downbeats, stacked harmonies that lift the chorus without smothering it. A short instrumental break gives the groove a breath. Then it's back to the refrain. The mix leaves room around the drums and bass, so the song moves easily through AM and FM compression. It did exactly what a single like this is supposed to do. Top 30 in the US, and steady rotation, the band's one brush with national charts. Trade write-ups at the time pointed to its economy. Programmers liked that it starts fast, hits the chorus early, and gets out clean. There's a practical twist to the story. Success on radio forced the studio outfit onto the road, turning hired hands into a real touring lineup. That switch explains the record's personality. Song first, parts locked, no extra ornament. White Lies, Blue Eyes lives on as a how-to for early 70s American rock singles. Short intro, tidy pre-chorus lift, memorable refrain, and a brisk exit. One hit, but a useful blueprint. 3. Hold Your Head Up by Argent. Former Zombies keyboardist Rod Argent and co-writer Chris White took a simple idea, Lift Your Chin, and built a rock rallying cry around it. Issued on Epic and anchored to the album All Together Now, the track put the Hammond organ front and center at a time when guitar was the automatic lead. The result didn't feel like a throwback, it felt like command. The arrangement makes its case without clutter. A piston-tight rhythm section keeps the song marching forward, while the guitars color the edges, leaving the Hammond to carry the melody and the muscle. The chorus doesn't explode so much as rise, voices stacking until the hook feels communal. On the album cut, the middle section opens into a long organ workout. The single edit tightens that space but keeps the ascent. It became Argent's signature hit, a top 5 smash that embedded itself on rock radio. Write-ups praised the balance, virtuosity without drift, and in rooms the song worked the way an anthem should. The crowd didn't wait for permission to sing. There's a smart piece of studio craft behind that presence. The Hammond's drawbars and amp drive were dialed, so the lead line punches through FM compression without turning harsh, giving the organ the authority usually reserved for a lead guitar. It's part tone, part mix, everything arranged, so the chorus feels like a banner being hoisted. The legacy is straightforward. Hold Your Head Up codified the arena rock uplift, affirmative, chant ready, built for the back row, and proved a keyboard could lead a hard rock single without softening it. One hit, and a blueprint for how to scale emotion to stadium size. 2. All the Young Dudes by Mott the Hoople. On the brink of splitting, Mott were thrown a lifeline when David Bowie walked in with a finished song and a new identity. Cut in London with Bowie at the helm and issued on CBS, All the Young Dudes didn't just hand them a hit, it handed them a banner to march under. Musically, it's all chiming guitars over a strutting backbeat, a melody that feels half street chant, half benediction. Ian Hunter sings like he's addressing the crowd from the top of a bus stop, and when the chorus arrives, the voices don't just harmonize, they gather. The arrangement leaves room for the hook to swell without piling on ornament. Everything points toward that communal release. Bowie's involvement ran deeper than authorship. He'd reportedly offered Suffragette City first. When that didn't land, he brought dudes and reshaped Mott's posture. Less bar band grind, more glam evangelists with a cause. You can hear the switch flip. The confidence is baked into the tempo, the phrasing, the way the chorus opens its arms. The single stormed the UK top 3 and cracked the US top 40, Mott's sole American top 40 entry, turning a near breakup into a reinvention. On stage, it became an instant call and answer, the line between band and audience dissolving by the second refrain. Legacy is the easy part. All the Young Dudes became Glam's hymnal, an outsider welcome letter that made Mascara and Community feel like the same decision. One hit, and a whole scene suddenly had its anthem. 1. Brandy, You're a Fine Girl by Looking Glass. New Jersey barrooms gave this song its shape long before it reached national airwaves. Written and fronted by Elliot Lurie and issued on Epic, Brandy, You're a Fine Girl took a storyteller's approach, verses like scene-setting paragraphs, a chorus that lands like a reveal. The band tracked it in the New York, New Jersey circuit with a simple mandate: keep the picture in focus and let the lyric do the lifting. The sound is all warm detail. Electric piano setting a soft glow, lightly jangling guitars sketching the harbor skyline, bass and drums keeping a gentle bar swing. Lurie sings close to the mic, more narrator than belter, and the backing parts stay out of the way so the refrain, Brandy, You're a Fine Girl, feels like the room collectively leaning in. Radio didn't need convincing. The single reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming the group's signature and, by any practical measure, their one big American hit. Trade columns at the time highlighted the record's clarity. On air, it slotted between heavier cuts because the story pulled listeners through without any extra fireworks. There's a club-tested quality to it. The arrangement leaves air around the vocal, the pre-chorus tugs just enough, and the turnaround into the hook feels inevitable, like a well-told short story that knows exactly when to land its last line. The afterlife speaks for itself. Decades on, Brandy recurs in films, TV, and karaoke nights, not as nostalgia wallpaper, but as proof that narrative can carry rock radio. One hit, and a barroom ballad became cultural shorthand for love, duty, and the pull of the sea. A single song with a life larger than the band that made it. And there it is, 10 rock one-hit wonders from 1972. Songs that flashed once and kept echoing. Glam swagger slipping into US radio, space rock muscling onto the charts, and a barroom story strong enough to outlive its makers. They didn't build long discographies. They left fingerprints on riffs, on choruses, on how rock would sound and feel for years. If this tour through 72 hit the spot, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you catch the next deep dive. Tell us in the comments which track deserves a full-on reappraisal and which other 1972 one-hit did we miss that should get the spotlight next time. Stay tuned. We're digging up more from another overlooked year. Until then, keep listening. Keep remembering.